everyone that's on this plane.
And other people are looking too.
Right. Can you find me something to change into?
Josh Hartnett is on a plane full of assassins in Fight or Flight, one of few new movies I'll be reviewing this week on CJ at the Movies, including the infamous Western Rust, which you all know what happened with Alec Baldwin and the prop gun, and a new version of Romeo and Juliet. I'm Christopher Zweig. Let's take a look. Our first movie is Fight or Flight, which is probably the airplane action movie that people wanted out of Mel Gibson's Flight Risk but got nothing in the end. This one is an action comedy in the B-movie genre that stars Josh Hartnett as a disgraced mercenary who is given a chance at freedom if he finds and extracts a terrorist by the name of the Ghost on an airplane. Nobody knows who he or she is, but he must protect the Ghost from the passengers, most of whom are deadly assassins.
Now, these people are paid a lot of money for first-class service, and I cannot have them disturbed.
Fight or Flight feels like if Non-Stop and Bullet Train had a one-night stand, and this little accident has proven itself to be worthy of your time. I mean that while the film has its flaws, we're supposed to ignore the rules of society and see how the action and comedy here merge together. Hartnett, whose best film in years happens to be Oppenheimer, makes a much better career comeback here than with last year's Trap. The movie chooses him as the leading man, and it knows what to do with him, and when he fights assassins with a chainsaw to the tune of Elvis Costello's Pump It Up, it's proof this movie is fun. Our next movie is Rust, the infamous Western in which during the filming process, Alec Baldwin accidentally shot and killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins because a live round was accidentally triggered from a prop gun, and the director Joel Souza was injured by that same round. After years of complications, the film has finally been finished, but unfortunately, it's not worth it. Baldwin plays Harlan Rust, an old outlaw extracting his estranged imprisoned grandson, played by Patrick Scott McDermott, who is sentenced to be hanged for the accidental death of a rancher. Their only recourse is to travel to Mexico City.
Some things in this life you can't get back, I reckon.
I kinda knew Rust would be a mediocre movie, but I still had to see it anyway because of my affection for Baldwin in the past and to respect Hutchins. I at least owe it to her, and she makes the film better looking on the outside than on the inside. Baldwin has always been one of my favorite actors in the past, but he's unconvincing as the title outlaw, and I especially don't like the kid acting all bratty and having poor judgment. This is actually a crappy Western, but what did we really expect? Our next movie is Bonjour Tristesse, the second film version of Francois Sagan's celebrated book, which should have more authenticity and less cliches. For those of you familiar with the story, we meet a father and daughter on vacation in the south of France with his mistress. Claes Bang plays the father Raymond, Lily McNerney is his daughter Cecile, and Nalia Harzone is his mistress Elsa. Much to the daughter's dismay, they're all visited by her parents' old friend Anne, played by Chloe Sevigny, who acts like her godmother.
No, I'd rather not think of my daughter being looked at.
No, I said seen, not looked at.
It's like you believe nothing good has ever happened to you.
I'm riveted by the performances from the cast because of the life they put in their characters and how they try to resonate with the book, but I also think Bonjour Tristesse should cut back on the formulas and allow them to acknowledge the meaning inside the book more. I didn't really acknowledge much after my viewing of this new version. I was more relaxed by the gorgeous images and characters than what the screenplay can provide. And our last movie is Juliet and Romeo, and the fact that this musical cover version of William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet has very little promotion may explain why you probably haven't heard of this film, and that's a good thing because this one is a wasted opportunity. It's a pop musical of songs sounding like something out of Possack and Paul, but acting like an expensive Disney Channel movie that does very little to the imagination. You know the story, as the Montagues and the Capulets are caught in a feud, but this one has them trying to align against the tyrannical new Pope's upcoming assault, but that doesn't stop our star-crossed lovers from having their forbidden love story. Jamie Ward is Romeo, and Clara Rugaard is Juliet.
A Montague and the Capulet would set the world on fire!
She's not our enemy.
Of course she is.
The cast also includes Jason Isaacs as Romeo's father, Lord Montague, Rupert Everett and Rebel Wilson as Juliet's parents, Lord and Lady Capulet, and Derek Jacobi as Friar Lawrence. But you don't get much out of the characters in this version, which was written and directed by Timothy Scott Bogart, one of Neil Bogart's sons, who also made the would-be music biopic Spinning Gold. These movies seem to have good taste in music, but bad taste in filmmaking and creativity. And for my 2 cents, Juliet and Romeo is the weakest retelling since the 2013 version with Douglas Booth and Haley Steinfeld. Recapping this week's new movies, thumbs up for Fight or Flight, thumbs down for Rust, thumbs down for Bonjour Tristesse, and thumbs down for Juliet and Romeo. Well, those are the new movies I'm reviewing this week. I'm Christopher Zweig. Stay safe, and I'll see you at the movies.